Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of the Tynamite Show. I'm of course your host Tyler, joined as always by my co-host, my counterpart,
As always.
my producer.
He said the name of the fucking podcast.
David Jerome's here. You've got your own camera now. We've stepped it up a bit, David.
Yes, here we are.
So
I have to remember I'm on camera. I can't be doing weird shit.
yeah, I know you've got, and of course today's the day you shave a mustache onto your face.
This is true. If I'd known that it was today, I would be on camera. I might have reconsidered the mo, but it's well and truly
it's
here
great.
to stay.
It's great to be here. We continue to develop and step up the show. It's an exciting show ahead of us today. I'm excited. We've had some big news this week from Jason Schreier reporting on some Sony stuff with their development. There's a lot going on there, so that's really exciting to delve into that. There's a lot of news to talk about there. James broke the Assassin's Creed world record. Huge news this week. Plus, we've got an exciting little announcement, or I guess exciting little segment that we've never done on the Tynamite Show before, but something I want to continue because we do a lot of great podcasts here on the Four Pillars Network and through As Always Entertainment, and I love it. But we've got a lot of them, and it's a lot to consume. So with the Tynamite Show, I want to make this as unique and different and exciting as possible to be like its own TV show, David. So that's, I think, where we're moving towards.
I know we can get some special guests on, maybe. You know, we could be like Letterman or one of those big shows.
Yeah, that's it. You never know. I'm excited for what's to come. I'm excited for the future of this show. So I can't wait to get into it. But before we start, we've obviously got to thank our Patreon producers for making the show happen. David, who are those people?
Here we go. We have Mr. Avery Dobbs, Mr. Clark53, Damien. Does the name William Miles ring a bell? We have Ferentino, Flash Paradox, Jesper Olsen, Just Put an End to Me, King Richard III, wow. Real Kermit Cinema, Robbie, Ryan Hafer, Tristan Weaver, Viridian, Bolsack47, Danny with the hard name, and that's it.
That's it. Brilliant.
Lovely.
Thank you, Street Vintage Lads, for helping out this podcast. We wouldn't be here without you.
Absolute lads.
So if you want more, head over to patreon.com/, as always, for just $1 a month. Clubhouse Podcast, the best podcast on the internet. There's a lot there, a lot for you to consume, including early access to this show. It comes out 4 days early on patreon.com/, as always, as an audio version on Tuesdays, whereas this full show comes out as a video form on the Four Pillars Network on Fridays. So that's super exciting. But without further ado, let's just get right into the show. So there's been some big Sony news this week. The pretty, I guess, polarizing reporter Jason Schreier from Bloomberg reported about some pretty big issues, it seems, going on within Sony and PlayStation. There's a sort of, David, it's like a bit of a partner team that helps work on the end results of major games like Uncharted, Last of Us, God of War, things like that, where they kind of come in and do the polish-offs, they fix some things up, and that team has sort of come out with some issues that have been going on because they've wanted to make their own games. They've wanted to do their own thing, and that's caused some issues, some people leaving, some things like that, when really they've just been used as, hey, you need to polish off this, you're just working on remakes, you're just doing this. And it's caused a lot of news. So there's probably 3 major points that have come out of this. One is that the team that made Days Gone, the PlayStation exclusive that came out in 2019, which was pretty well received and made a bit of money, but there were some issues with development. They wanted to make a sequel to that game. They got turned down. So that's some big news coming out of there, that Days Gone's not getting a sequel, and PlayStation don't see it as viable because it had so many issues in development. It wasn't critically acclaimed like a God of War, or Horizon Zero Dawn, or a Last of Us Part 2. So there's some issues there. Okay, Days Gone, not getting a sequel.
Days Gone is gone.
Days Gone, it's gone. Forget it.
I never played it, but I had some mates, like, they're not like full on gamers, but they had some mates that really fucking enjoyed it, man.
It's not a game I play. It's like the only Sony exclusive I don't think I played.
You don't play zombie games, though.
No, only The Last of Us.
You hate zombie games.
I hate zombie games.
But is The Last of Us a zombie game, or is it a game about human beings being the true evil ones?
I agree with that, at least with the second one.
Yeah.
I thought, everyone told me that about the first one, and then I played the first one, and I was like, hey, look, it is that, but it's also definitely a zombie game. Because I felt like 2 had a lot more human elements to it, but it also did zombies in a way that made me actually enjoy it. I never enjoyed the zombie side of a zombie game before, until The Last of Us Part 2. I really like Day 3 Ellie, like that's perfection to me. That was like I was genuinely scared. I was like, holy shit, this is incredible. So that's probably why I avoided Days Gone. But I know a lot of people that loved it too. A lot of people that said it was a great game, or at least it had a lot of potential, and they wanted to see it develop. And maybe a sequel would give them the opportunity to grow the story, grow the world, and fix up those issues that when it comes to making a new original game, there's a lot of things that can go wrong. And sometimes you have those development issues, and that's what Sony, I guess, didn't like. And they don't want to do a sequel, whereas maybe a sequel could have been a lot smoother. You don't know. I'm not the inside person, but sad news to see that. Another big piece of news is that there's a team, and this is that like visual arts team that does like the polishing of all these other games. They are working on, or at least were working on, a remake, David, of The Last of Us 1.
A full remake?
Like a full remake of a game that's 8 years old that's already been remastered on the last generation of console for the PlayStation 5 that they could like bundle up with Last of Us Part 2 and release. And I just don't understand the thought process of this. The article talks about how they were originally supposed to remake Uncharted 1, which came in 2007. A lot more reason to do a remake with a game that mechanically you go back and replay, and it feels like it's a 14-year-old game. It does. It's an amazing game, but it feels like a 14-year-old game. A lot more you can add and develop with that. It would be amazing to see a remake of Uncharted 1. But the way PlayStation's looking at it, and this is the big root of the article and the big root of the problem, is PlayStation's so focused, it seems like, on their blockbuster franchises and their blockbuster studios, and that's it. They're not really worried about the smaller games anymore. They're not really worried about those indie games or even new originals. They're just like, look, these are the studios we trust to make, if they want to make an original, they can make a new IP, but that's about it. And other than that, we want sequels to their big games, like Guerrilla making a sequel to Horizon, Sony Santa Monica making the next God of War, Naughty Dog working on A Last of Us, an Uncharted game, as well as if they want to make a new IP, go for it. Naughty Dog, in the article, it describes them as like a key studio, which makes sense. I get it. But you have had some incredible new IPs that came in the generation of the PS4, including Ghost of Tsushima. Just to name one. Obviously, Horizon Zero Dawn being another. But to not focus and give time to those smaller games also negates the opportunity for growth. And what I mean by that is for new things to come up that surprise Sony and that surprise audiences that can only come from those smaller studios. And it doesn't mean necessarily small as like they're indie, but they don't have the budgets of a Last of Us Part 2. They don't have hundreds of millions of dollars of budget, you know? But they can still make an incredible game. They can still do something that surprises everyone. That's like, oh my god, wow, I didn't know I wanted this style, but this is something new, this is something refreshing, and I want to see more. And that opportunity becomes less and less and less through Sony if their focus is only on their blockbuster games. But the other problem is their seeming focus on remakes and remasters of old games rather than new games anyway. They would rather make a Last of Us Part 1 remake than make a new IP. From a studio they've at least trusted to work on a lot of their important projects and polish off a lot of their big games that have come out over the last 10 to 15 years. It's just strange to me to read about that and to see that that's the direction PlayStation are going. That they're almost... It's the first time I feel like Sony are like so high on their horse about what position they're in, the confidence they have. They're like, we know we're going to sell our consoles by doing this, and we're just going to stick to that, rather than what got them there really was investing in a lot of studios, in a lot of new ideas, trying new things. Yes, some sequels to franchises we know, but trying new things with those sequels. God of War for the PS4 was not the same as God of War 1, 2, and 3. You know, and that's why it's so critically acclaimed. Not just because it's a sequel to a very popular franchise. And The Last of Us Part 2 is very polarizing, but it tried something completely different, and like it or not, it was fucking talked about endlessly. It's still talked about, and it sold insanely well. And it was well produced as well. It was a very well polished, well made game. So Sony don't know what they're doing in that sense, and then you've got Microsoft that are just sort of putting out all these other smaller... They don't seem like they have anything massive other than a Halo that comes. They just want to purchase a lot of studios, use Game Pass, and have a lot of access to a lot of different smaller to medium games. And that's where Xbox are going. And it seems like they're doing a pretty good job of that. Good for them. Happy for them. We'll see how it goes. Only time will tell with Microsoft. But Sony, I'm like, well, just keep doing what you're doing. And now it's like, they're like, no, let's pull it back a bit. Just have those small key games that are going to come out once a year, once every couple of years. Or maybe one of those games per year, 2 of those games a year at most. And then you've got something like this studio remaking The Last of Us. But I just don't understand. Dave, why would you remake The Last of Us 1, man? Then the reason they chose that over Uncharted 1 was because they're like, oh, you've got to change too much with Uncharted. You've got to add too much. It's a lot cheaper and more affordable to just remake a game like The Last of Us. There's not that much you need to do, and we're going to still sell a lot. We'll bring in old fans for nostalgia on the PS5, and we'll bring in new curious fans. Like, I just feel like it's an 8-year-old game that's already been remastered. Like,
that's
why?
my thing is like, pick one. Pick one. You pick a remaster, or you pick a remake. That's why Demon's Souls was such a big deal. It's because it's like it was like the game's over like 15 years old or whatever.
Yeah.
And then it's like you have that, and then you have a full remake. That's just everyone froths over, not like a, like an obvious cash grab, which this seems to be.
Yeah, and well, that's
what
it is. It becomes the cash grab, which is I certainly don't think Sony's above that. I just thought their direction was about bringing brilliant exclusives to their audience, and that's what's going to sell the PS5. And I think that's what they think they're doing, but I feel like they think they've already done the hard work. Like, they're like, we've already done that. Now we can just sort of cut costs back, do things for less, and still get the same return because we've already established this reputation with these studios making these types of games. And that's so short-sighted to me. That's money grabbing, that's money saving. That's not a long-term sustainable way to do their business. If they're trying to save money for 2 to 3 years, okay, sure. But at what cost? At what cost? You'll remember because you consistently, during the PS4 era, put out amazing new exclusive titles. Frequently. Some were well received more than others, sure. Some were more polarizing than others, but everyone took them seriously. And that's the key. And that's the key. Everyone took them seriously. So I'm a bit concerned with where they're going with that, with the focus on the blockbusters, but also seemingly like pulling back from what got them to the dance, David. What got them to the dance was trying crazy shit. And I feel like they're now playing it safe. And I worry that they're getting complacent. And I've been worried about that for years, but they've given me no reason to. I was just like, I wonder when that'll happen. I feel like it's only natural. Like, surely they'll get complacent and they'll think they can just do whatever they want. But I thought it meant they would take some really big risks, not pull back and play it safe. Because you can go one of two ways when you're in this position is keep doing what you're doing usually doesn't happen, especially when there's a new head of PlayStation that came in at the end of 2019. Usually those new bosses, they want to make an impact. They want to make a change. And the change could be, no, we're going to take even bigger risks because we're in this position, which could pay off hugely or not. But I respect that a lot more than playing it super safe because, we need to save money on the budget while still making a whole lot of money as well by reusing and recycling old ideas. And it just sounds like there's quite a few people within the, PlayStation empire that work as a developer that aren't happy. A lot of people have been studios that made Days Gone were actually brought in to help Naughty Dog make an Uncharted. And now they've got they asked to get taken off it. They're on their own project, but a lot of developers have been leaving. So it's a bit concerning when you're losing some really key developers on teams that got you there, and who knows where they're going. They probably don't want to work with Sony anymore. That's sad.
Well, it's worrying because it indicates that the marketing team thinks graphics sells games. Where, like...
great point.
And it's like, well, no. Like, The Last of Us Part 1, you could play the remaster, you could play the original, you could play a remake. People come back to see Joel and Ellie, and graphics, I don't know, in a generation that is saturated with the highest visual effects, it honestly, there's only a certain level of clarity and precision and graphical, amazingness until you just go, well, what am I really connecting to here? You're connecting to a story. You know?
Yeah.
And that's worrying. You know, they just go, if we can just rehash old things again and again, nothing new is being investigated, because sometimes a game might not seem like a AAA hit, or it seems like it's going to take off, but then it gets out there and it just hits a market that is untapped. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
It says it here in the article, which I found really interesting. Emphasizing big hits can also be counterproductive, because sometimes games that start small can turn into massive successes.
Exactly.
In 2020, Sony didn't put much marketing muscle behind the quirky video game creation system Dreams, but the PlayStation-owned Media Molecule in the UK, Media Molecule in the UK. As a result, PlayStation may have missed out on its own version of Roblox, a similar video game tool. Parent company Roblox Corp went public earlier this year and is now valued at $45 billion. Dude, Dreams is incredible, by the way.
Yeah.
People creating all kinds of amazing stuff on there. So it just goes to show, like, they just think that it also seems like a fearful, you know, it just seems like they're just too afraid to
which I don't get why.
Yeah.
I just don't get why.
They've got everything going for them. They can take some risks. Sony can take some risks, man.
I mean, I'd be interested to see their financials. Like, okay, they've made all these amazing games. They've sold so many consoles. And I guess from that and how well they're doing, you assume there's a lot of profit being made. But are they spending more than they're, getting in terms of these other projects? And is there like a background cost? There's always a background reason for this. And having a new boss in PlayStation makes me concerned that he's trying to get results for the he's trying to make his mark as the new boss. You know what I mean? And he's trying to show percentage improvements and results in growth every year. And that's the problem with some of these bigger companies. It can be, especially with new bosses, if they've really drunk the Kool-Aid. And he used to be the head of Gorilla, so I don't know. Who knows? I've got my concerns, Dave. That's all I'm saying. I've got my concerns with their focus on Blockbusters. I was waiting for this to happen. I was worried this would happen. Our PlayStation getting complacent. Again, this is one report from Jason Schreier. We've just got to wait and see until things start getting announced. What this Ben Studios project is, as well as does a Last of Us remake get announced soon? And then we're like, what the fuck is this? So it's a matter of time. Perhaps it's a 10-year anniversary remake. That's what they're waiting for like 2023. But even then, 10 years is what you do for a remaster, not a remake. It's just too much. It's too soon, and it just feels wrong. Make a new Last of Us. Make a new IP through Naughty Dog, or make a new Uncharted. Like, you don't need to remake The Last of Us. You just don't. You don't even need to remake the first Uncharted, but that's the only one that would even make sense. That's my 2 cents anyway. That's my 2 cents. So some exciting news in the community this week is that our very own James, aka Lasers, broke the world record for Assassin's Creed 1, speedrunning it. The fastest playthrough of all time of this game. The game that, made his YouTube channel one of his favourite games of all time. It's only fitting one of our own has the world record. I just told Dave before we started recording about this, let's watch the end result here of James breaking the world record. It was his second attempt, but we'll get into that after. Let's just watch this.
Let's go.
He looks so stressed. You know what I mean? Like, imagine...
The official time will be here in a second. As soon as the first line of the credits appear at the bottom, I hit the split and we're done.
What happened?
Game breaks.
What does it mean, I wonder?
Come on. The first line of the credits. There it is, we did it! 4 hours, 24 minutes, 3 seconds. We fucking did it. That's it. That's the new fucking console world record for Assassin's Creed 1, boys. We fucking did it. Oh my god, man. I can relax. Oh my god. Fuck me.
Dude, imagine that.
Oh my god.
He was streaming like
Shit,
middle of the
man.
night for us.
Wow.
Do I pause that there? He was streaming in the middle of the night for us, so couldn't watch it. But watching that, a lot of that, I watched quite a bit of it back. And it's just so tense, man. Like, and I'm just sitting there like, even though I know he did it, by the time I was watching it, I was like, holy shit. Like, I was like stressing. I was like, oh my God, I could feel how tense he felt. Especially the closer you get, because that was his second attempt at the full run. Like obviously he's done months of training and practicing segment and mastering it, which has been like incredible. The way like I'll be doing podcasts with him and I can hear him moving the controllers. He's like, I'm just practicing speed run routes and stuff, just routes over and over and over and over and over again. Like it's a lot of like, surely you would hate this game after this.
True.
Like, you know, surely you would just, and that's why I don't do it. You were asking me about speed running and like, would I do something? Like, would I attempt? Which did you say? What or
did he say why he chose AC1?
I think it's because I think it was the only one that really had a bit of a speed running
community.
Interesting. It's also the original game. And I think, you know, in a lot of ways, this is his favourite. You know, it's what brought him into the franchise. I think it made the most sense. And it's the shortest one, I believe, as well, to speedrun.
Interesting.
I think the world record for AC2 was like, and Brotherhood like a bit more than that, like in the 5 hour range. So I think it was a bit more doable for James, in the sense of, one, it's quicker, but also I think it's the one he would maybe say that he's best at. Which is cool. It's amazing. It's so amazing that someone in our community, but not just anyone, like James of all people, he's the number one. I mean, in the sense of if you call being good at a game, like how fast you can get through it and complete it. He's the best in the world at Assassin's Creed 1. Like that's, he has a world record. That's pretty incredible.
True. He said console, Xbox. Is there
I don't. I think there must be different ratings.
Because you can play AC1 on PC.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder what the PC record is and how it's different.
Well, I think it cuts load times out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think there's a way you could probably glitch by exiting the game.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like he was definitely had to use glitches. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like at certain points to like not break the game, but like trick the game, cheat it. That he used throughout, but like that was the second attempt. He did it the other day on Friday. I think was his first attempt, and maybe Thursday. And one of the glitches didn't work properly.
Yeah. And
totally fucked up his run. Like just totally fucked up his run. I think there's a few things that went wrong, and I hear a few things went wrong in this run, but he still managed to do it, man. Like it's something I never thought about, and you were asking me before the show when I was talking to you about it. Would I do one? Like, would I do AC2?
Yeah.
It's like, dude, fuck that. Like, I love these games. I love replaying the Ezio trilogy. I'm streaming it at the moment. Like, I love that. I don't want to ruin the games for myself, and I feel like obsessing over AC2 and just playing the same shit over and over and over again, it wouldn't ruin it because they're great games. It would change the way you view the game, though. You'd never be able to play it. James is never going to be able to play AC1 without remembering the quickest routes and feeling like that's how he has to play it with speed. He can't just play it.
Yeah, true.
And have a bit of fun with it. He like literally will be like, this is the fast route. This is how you do. This is how you play. This is how you play the game. Like it's supposed to be played this way. And I'll be interested to see if he attempts to break his own record down the line, or someone else attempts to break the record, because it's not just anyone that's got the record. It's someone with a massive following, and specifically for that franchise. So that's
you will often find that like once. Dude, I was watching these speedrunning videos. There's an amazing community of speedrunners out there. I don't speedrun games, but I love. Honestly, it's what I've been watching, in my spare time, like before I go to bed or whatever. There's huge speedrunning community, and it's not even just specific games. But if someone speedruns a game that's never been speedrun before, you'll find all of these people come out of the woodwork and just go, all right, let's fucking do it. Like. Wii golf. Like people, like some guy just like got all the holes, like did all the holes or something in like 13 minutes. That's like a random number, but did it in a certain time. And then all these random speedrunners just came out like, all right, cunt, like let's fucking do it.
Yeah, right.
And then they got like, there was like all of these people, and then they like got it down just for fun. Like that's what these guys do.
But I think James is hoping for that as well.
Yeah, it'd be good for the AC community because it's pretty dead, you know, in terms of like
True.
You know,
like,
what's there's not much appeal, you know.
Well,
anymore.
that's the thing. Like you asked me, like what would I do, and the only thing I like when I was competitive at it was Assassin's Creed multiplayer. Like, I've been ranked like in the top 100 in the world during different periods of time over the course of. I wasn't big in the Brotherhood days. Revelations was the one I played the most, AC3 a lot, and same with Black Flag a little less, but I think Black Flag's the one I've probably been ranked the most time in. Like I think I got like in the top 50 in the world for console.
Yeah, but that's because there's 53 players.
It's true, there are 53 players. That's true. That's accurate. But honestly, man, like I was very competitive at that.
Yeah, true.
I was obsessed with that during the what I would watch online would be like multiplayer videos on YouTube, and I just obsessed over it and loved to play, and I just loved being good. I've never been a big person into multiplayer or anything competitive in games. I just like to chill out. But Assassin's Creed, I was so like wanted to be the best, and I've never had that before. And I've made the Tynamite character off that, doing the multiplayer battles with a few of the guys over the years, especially the one James and I did in 2017, which is a lot of fun. But what everyone finds is that...
Who do you think would win in like a 1v1 like stalk off, like you or James?
We've already done that.
Oh, true.
Dude, I destroyed him.
True.
Like, just absolutely obliterated him. It wasn't even close. And he's very good at it too, because we've gone and played group multiplayer, and he's always like second best by far. By far. And I'd whoop all of the other YouTube boys. They all know how much I'd whoop them because they've played against me.
True.
Yeah, 100%. And they played against James, and they're like, "Oh, you got flogged by Tyler, and you're beating my ass." Yeah, it's because James is good. I'm just one of the best players. That played the game.
Yeah.
None of those guys did. That was just for whatever reason that was my thing. That was one of my things. And I loved it during the time. But I'd love to bring it back, have some sort of tournament community going and like revive that here or there. Maybe with the Black Flag multiplayer would be fun. Because I've got a platinum. When I stream Black Flag after the Ezio trilogy, I've got a platinum that on the PS5, and there's multiplayer on it. There's a multiplayer trophy, so I've got to get the trophies.
How long did it take you to get high ranked in AC multiplayer?
Oh, hundreds of hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, at least 100 hours. Because you'd be you sort of start off your low level, you max level out, you get a prestige, and you work on your classes, and then once you're in your prestiges, that's when you're really just doing work. You're in the zone, you've got all your abilities, you've mastered the maps, and you just bang, 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 bang with the game modes. So that's and once you're there for quite a while. So it's and then you're getting matched with those sorts of people. But it was just a fun environment. I always loved it, and I'd love to be a part of that again. The multiplayer's fun. But yeah, it's just cool. I just wanted to talk on the show about congratulate James, because it's a huge achievement to do that. And I know how hard he's worked and how many hours he's put into this, and to have a goal like that, a little project like that, and to do it second attempt, and he had the creator of Assassin's Creed congratulate him, and as in Patrice, who got fired from Ubisoft because he wanted like creative control, and he made AC1, 2, and Brotherhood, and they fired him after Brotherhood. He's like the one who created the franchise.
Why'd they fire him?
Creative differences. Like, I think he was like, Assassin's Creed's mine. And
I wanted AC to be good, and Ubisoft like, no, we want fucking shit.
It's almost literally that. Yeah. Like, Patrice is amazing. Like, he is the father of Assassin's Creed, of like true real Assassin's Creed, not the shit that we ended up getting. So to have him, like Patrice, come out, who created the concept for AC1, and go, dude, congratulations, that's awesome, that's cool to see. So James, congratulations, proud of you, and I look forward to seeing if anyone else attempts the speed run to beat James. And then this continues to be a thing throughout 2021. That's cool.
Dude, this tea I'm drinking, it's just a little FYI.
Oh yeah.
I rummaged through the tea box that my mum has, and I found this bag called Morning Sunshine. So it's perfect for 9:20 at night.
Dude, it's late. It's a late Monday night.
Just wanted to read the back of this tea pack because I just thought it was so interesting.
Okay.
It says, this harmonious mix of Assam, don't know what that is, Darjeeling, and Rwandan estate black teas offers robust malty notes with a touch of muscatels and mild fruitiness. That sounds incredible. Simply exceptional. This brew's just the sip to wake up to. There we go.
How does it feel? Does it live up to that now that you've been drinking it?
I mean, yeah, I'd fuck with this tea, man. It's pretty good.
You'd fuck with this tea?
Yeah, I reckon
I mean, you are fucking with
I could go for a bag of this tea.
You could go for a bag of this tea.
Always up for a bag.
Okay, mate.
Of tea.
Of tea.
Tea bag.
A tea bag. Something that we've worked on this week or we will be working on this week, but it's out now. Obviously, the show's out when people are watching this. Is something special. The third segment of this episode of the Tynamite Show, something different we've not done before. It's not just going to be me sitting here talking at you guys. It's going to be a side project that we get to premiere on the Tynamite Show. That's how I want to do this. This is more than a podcast. It's like a video mix podcast, TV show type thing. It's developing. It's cool. It's crazy. But we want to premiere something I love doing. I love making videos and funny shit. But I love making skits, and over these I've written so many of them and only produced very few because it's always a concept. But I think now's the perfect time. Let's work on some skits and have some fun. And Dave and I came up with this concept for a skit. We've worked on it, and I want to use this platform to premiere it. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, you're getting to watch right now one of the skits, the first skit that Dave and I produced together. It's been a long... I don't even know my words right now, David. It's been many years since I've done a Tynamite skit, a Tynamite short. I did 2 back in like 2016. And then, of course, we have the 4 Pillars Assemble trailer that we worked on. So I want to do a bit more of these throughout this year and see where that goes, see how you enjoy it. But here's our attempted one this week, which is titled Everything Wrong with Video Game Character Creation.
Alright, man, I'm just heading out for like an hour. See you in a bit.
Alright, dude, see ya. Oh, actually, before you go, how would you describe my nose?
What?
Yeah, my nose. I'm doing character creation in Cyberpunk.
Dude, I gotta go, man.
It'll be really quick. I just really need to know because I don't look at myself that much in the mirror. Like, I've done I've done my hair and stuff, but like...
Alright.
Would you say my nose is broad?
What are your options?
Narrow? Normal? Like, I don't know.
Okay, normal.
Normal. Okay.
Wow, there's heaps of options.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't do all of them.
Yeah, of course. I just need help on a couple of things. How would you describe my eyebrows?
Normal. Sorry, dude. I don't know. Normal.
It's like bushy, thin.
Is there like an in between? I mean, they're not like bushy.
Yeah.
And they're not like thin. They're like sleek. You have sleek eyebrows.
So I guess thin? Is thin fine?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that. This is where it gets sort of weird. How do you describe my shoulders?
Your shoulders.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you take care of yourself. Like, broad. Like, is broad an option?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Strong, broad shoulders. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll go. Yeah, I'll say broad.
Yeah.
What about above that? Like my neck.
Thick.
So do you need to go?
Oh no, that's cool. Like, it's.
I'll go with thick then. I guess it is sort of thicker than. What about like you're sure in the mouth area now? So it's like lips and teeth.
Oh. Nice.
Which one?
So sorry. What was the
It was lips and teeth. Now, so like.
Yeah. Lips. Is like tender.
What?
Well, you know, like soft. You know, I mean, like.
I don't feel the game. It's.
No.
How does it look? Does it look
like a ripe peach?
I'm just gonna go with normal for that one, and teeth.
Dazzling.
Go with normal again. There's only like one more I really need help with.
Oh.
Yeah, because I think I have blue eyes. People say I have green eyes. I don't know if it's an in between that.
Oh, your eyes.
Yeah.
Look, honestly, just pick the option you can get lost in.
Yeah, not what I asked. It's more of the colour I was looking for that one.
Blue. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm good, man. I think I'm good.
Yeah. He looks great.
Yeah, you have to go though, eh? I'm really keeping you. You can go. It's fine. I've
Oh,
got this. That was the only one I needed.
Yeah. I mean, kind of want to see you play him a bit, but.
Yeah. No, I don't know because it's like it's just still like a long load time tutorials and it's a lot of bugs I've heard. Actually, I might even play it to be honest. I might actually not play this.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Yeah, it's all good, man. Enjoy. Have a good one. Have a good night, man.
Yeah, man. You too. Looks like fun.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, I'll see you around.
Penis size. As we sort of get into the extended podcast version of the show, David, we've talked a bit about it last week. We had a bit of a chat about music. We reacted to Wheeler Walker Jr. But something I'd like to throw in here as we go on, I'm not sure how it's going to go, but let's give it a shot, is a lot of people love hearing me talk about mixed martial arts, the UFC, things like that. And I wasn't sure when I was going to bring in it, whether it was a big card, I was going to give predictions to a certain topic, but you and I were having a chat over dinner at the news that's come out this week of some tweets that is going on. So the biggest, one of the biggest fights of all time, really, I mean, numbers-wise, but the biggest star in the history of mixed martial arts is a man by the name of Conor McGregor, who in January of this year fought for the second time Dustin the Diamond Poirier, former UFC interim lightweight champion. And Dustin was the first man to ever knock him out. Brilliant game plan. Brilliant man. But during that period and the way it all came about, some people might not know, is that Conor was very frustrated and just looking to get a fight on the cards, get something scheduled. And he was like, fuck it, I'll do a charity fight for Dustin. Dustin has a charity, let's do a charity fight. Fuck the UFC off, we don't need to do it. And because Dustin was like, yeah, fuck yeah, it's all over Twitter, they're doing it publicly, discussing this. It sort of came about that way, and Conor said he'll donate $500,000 to Dustin's charity, the Good Fight Foundation. But because so much heat came from that sort of live conversation, the UFC jumped on and no, how about you guys fight for us? You guys fight for us. So the fight got booked January 2021, and Dustin won. That's their second fight. Conor knocked him out first round back in 2014, and years later, they're both different men, different fighters, and a lot less two young men trying to prove themselves and two mature fathers. Just that love life and the fight game and appreciate where they're at. So that's what it seemed in the second fight. And then they're, now they've booked the third fight for July this year, the trilogy fight, the rubber match, to decide who's the better fighter.
Question: why do they call it a rubber match?
I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you.
I wonder.
I don't actually know.
Maybe I could look that shit up.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. But yeah, actually, could you Google it? Why is it called a rubber match? I know the phrase and I use the phrase a lot, so that's why I was like, rubber match. But I don't actually know if it's called a rubber match. It's strange. But yeah, so in July they're doing that, but I thought it was just still amicable. I thought, they're doing the fight because it's good for business, and you may as well do a third one. You were really successful, and Dustin, if he wins again, he knows he's getting the title shot, and he's pretty confident he can beat whoever the champion is. So he's not in no rush. He's like, let's just take the Conor fight now. Let's beat him again and go on to the title after that. Have some money in the account, donate to the charity. Good to go. But Dustin's come out today saying that Conor never donated the $500,000 that Conor promised publicly, including week of the fight, saying that he's going to do it. And Dustin even said his team had reached out to him and the process was beginning. That's what he said during the press conference in Fight Week back in January. So it seemed like you didn't hear anything else after that. You assumed it happened, the $500,000 was donated, and we're good to go. But what Dustin's saying now is that no, that's not the case. Conor McGregor has not donated the $500,000 he promised, and every time Dustin's charities reached out to his people, 3 times he said they've reached out, and they've been ghosted the whole time. It's not happening. I'm like, what the fuck? Conor then replies with, it was a donation, not a debt. Do you want to read out what Conor's response was?
Yeah, so I didn't get it at first, but I'm reading it again. So basically, Diamond says, which you're not following, by the way. You are following Conor McGregor, but you do not follow.
Dude, I feel like I do because every time Dustin...
Diamond Poirier.
Yeah, but every time Dustin tweets something, I see it on my feed. So I feel like I thought I did follow him, to be honest.
I don't know. It just says relevant people, and it says, yeah.
Yeah, well, don't hit follow. I follow 69 people, so don't ruin my follow number. That's why I follow. I literally follow 69 people, and every time I follow someone new, I have to unfollow someone.
Are you fucking 12?
Yeah, I am 12.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So give me Conor's reply.
Yep. So he points out that he hasn't received anything. He's not responding after the fight. McGregor says, a donation, not a debt. We've been awaiting the plans for the money. that never came. I do that with all my donation. Know where it's going dot for dot. Otherwise, it goes walking. It's as is the case with a lot of these foundations, sadly. You took the McGregor over the belt shows I was right. So he's accusing Dustin of
chasing
saying,
the money. Even though it's like,
Yeah.
Conor, you wanted the fight. And if he didn't take it, you would have been like, he's a fucking...
So Conor says, "Oh, I don't know what you're gonna do with the money with the foundation, so I'm not gonna donate it."
But what do you think...
And then
Dustin's
Khabib
team
donates
was...
$100K to the Good Fight Foundation.
Yeah, but what was...
What a man.
What was Dustin's team reaching out to him for, though, David? You know what I mean? But that's the point.
Wait, what do you
Would it
mean?
not be for plans for the donation?
Well,
Hey, look, we were talking about donating the $500,000, and he talked about it publicly. He's like, it's going to open.
yeah,
They're
so
going
he
to open a
replies
gym.
to that with 100% never a debt. You offered, we accepted, and like I said, your team never responded to our emails regarding the process of where funds would be put to work. 10th of July, you will taste defeat yet again.
Dude, I've been a Conor McGregor dick rider for 7 years.
Yeah.
Favorite fighter, or was like one of my favorite fighters. You know, when I was really getting into the sport was when he was just coming up. He wasn't champion yet. He was just a ranked contender. He just fought Dustin Poirier when I was really starting to get into it the first time back in 2014. And I was all over. I was like, this dude's insane. I'm watching his rise. One of the coolest sporting things I've ever seen. And that's... Yeah, it was crazy. And I've always been on Team Conor. But I love Dustin. So when they fought the second time, I was rooting for Conor, but I didn't care that Dustin. I was like, good for Dustin. Dustin's a great dude. Dustin's a great dude. So no stress whatsoever. No stress whatsoever. And with the rematch, I'm like, whoever's the best is the best. Like, I'm interested to see it. But now it's like, honestly, I'm out, bro. I'm off. I can't. Conor's done a lot of fucked up shit, man. And I've stood by that shit a long time, all the dumb shit he's done. I don't know why this is the straw that's broke the camel's back for me. I want Dustin to fuck him up now. You know?
Yeah, man.
Where do
It's
you
kinda
stand on
sad,
this?
hey? But then you also got these fucking boys that are like, yeah, no more Mr. Nice Guy. Like,
Oh, yeah, but it's fucking... Dude, there's no community online worse than the MMA community. They're disgusting human beings. They just think this is how men act. You know, it's all about just being tougher, stronger and shit. It's like... Tough guys don't need to act tough. You know what I mean? It's just sad, man.
some guy was like, Khabib, send location. Dustin, send donation.
Look, man, I'm out now, you know? If this, like... This is just... It sounds like...
What happens if he does win?
Well, he wins.
Will you be back on the train?
No, I mean, I won't be back on the...
Lies.
I won't be...
Lies.
But what I'm saying is, between the two of them, I'm rooting for Dustin. That's what I'm saying now.
But if Conor wins, you'll be like, my boy.
Well, who's he fighting next?
My boy's back.
Well, who's he fighting after, though, is the question. I'll jump straight... I'll no regrets that I'll be probably rooting for him to win the title after that, if he does beat Dustin. But between the two of them, I'm rooting for Dustin.
Who's the champ of the division now? Right?
Well, it's Chandler versus Oliveira. He's
he's probably versus Chandler. Eh?
Yeah, I think he's fighting
Chandler.
Chandler. I know a lot of people are high on Oliveira. I just don't rate the fucker.
Chandler does.
I've watched
look
Oliveira for too
Chandler
long.
does look like he's on a fucking constant roll.
Yeah, it's what he does. It's what he does. But yeah, dude, I'm out, man. I'm just out. This is it for me. I'm excited to see what happens in this trilogy fight, and I hope to see Conor just fucking make the donation. Yeah, be a man of your word. It's not a good look, man. It's really not a good look. I know he probably thinks, nah, this is me being the bad guy again. I'm gonna get in Dustin's head. Dude, this ain't the way to do it, bro.
Dude, some people are theorizing that it's all
a mind game.
It's all hype for the audience.
Yeah, well, people think that, of course, but I don't think Dustin's as real as it gets, man. Dustin's as real as it gets. He's not fake doing anything. And anyone thinks that's an idiot. So, look. Conor just needs to be a man of his word and do it. This isn't the way to play your mind games. Talk about what he always used to talk about, which is who he thinks he is as a fighter and what he can do, and who he thinks the other person is as a fighter, and how he can exploit that. And what his goals are, and aim high. You know? Learn from your mistakes. That's Conor McGregor. Talk a bit of shit, I get it, but don't involve money and charities and question Dustin Poirier's integrity. You joking? It's like, imagine questioning Max Holloway or Robert Whittaker's integrity. Those are the three nicest guys in the UFC: Dustin Poirier, Max, and Rob.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just, I'm out. David, all I'm saying is, I'm out. Yeah, let's talk about the projects we're working on, David, because we've got a few songs in the works, originals and covers.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk a bit about like what you're working on and stuff?
Yeah, so obviously you guys know we've got a new series on my channel called Den Sessions, which is basically just a fancy name for just chilling in the den here and just simple acoustic stuff. Acoustic songs, my songs without any of the major production elements, just sort of live, like a live session pretty much. So we got another one of those that have been recorded earlier this week, which will be coming out probably by the end of the week. And then got another cover that of a song that I've sort of done my own version of, which has got a few more elements, which will come out definitely in the near future. We just need to film a little clip for it.
Yeah.
But the audio I'm really happy with the audio, so that'll be coming out as well.
It's cool seeing you try things you've talked about in terms of sound mixing, because it's a way when you're doing certain covers to learn yourself how you want to sound mix things and be like, I've never done this sort of experimental sound style of layering things this way or trying things this way, and seeing you test it out, and it sounded really awesome. It's cool to watch.
Yeah, so that'll be cool. Excited to release that. And I learn a lot during the process as well. Deck of Cards, the full studio produced version, will be on Spotify 1st of May, which will be really cool. We've put it up through a music distribution company. We've got a cover art, set up all the details, and kind of don't know really how it works, but we're just going to put it up there and just kind of see what happens. So that'll be cool. So that'll be coming out as a single, which will be cool. And then basically plan is this year, get an acoustic EP out, just me, my tunes, my guitar, and then work on a full album that is probably like 8 songs, I'd say, like 6 to 8 songs. With like fully produced with a band. But that's a bit later down the line. Main thing is just getting some of the tunes out there for people to listen to. Just me and the acoustic. But yeah, more stuff in the works. So keep your eye out on the old YouTube channel. That'll be cool. Yeah,
absolutely. I can't wait. Especially with some of the ideas, Den Sessions being that focus on strip back. You want a guitar in the den here. This is our bread and butter. This is what we know how to film. But then the same way you're with covers doing a bit more in terms of, I'll use this as an experiment for down the line with my own original songs, but use covers to sort of test that practice of mixing myself. It's actually going to be the same for me when shooting the videos with you, because we're going to not just do it in the den. We're actually going to go on location, try new things out, and that's going to give me an opportunity to spread my wings and do a bit more with angles and locations and lighting and sound and stuff. So
absolutely,
the videos are going to be equally as experimental as they are when you're mixing it, David. So it's a cool mix for both of us, I think.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely a passion project that we get to enjoy and also learn along the way. So yeah, exciting stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. You hit a bit of a wall there, buddy. You kind of sound dead.
Yeah, it was a big weekend.
Yeah. Another big week. This is last week. We're like, oh, David had a big weekend. Remember that last week?
Yeah. I'm gonna have to hang up the old dancing shoes one day, man.
Dude, you're an animal.
Definitely, dude. You gotta enjoy these times while you can.
But there's nothing like, trust me when I say, people, like our friend group. Like David's spent so many years overseas and touring, and I've my own friend group that isn't from school. David's my only school friend that I have, really, other than a very select few. But I'm like, dude, David's coming into my friend group, bringing him in as soon as he's back in Australia. And they fucking, like, you're so in our group, they fucking love you so much. Like, when it comes to, like, parties and gatherings, all I hear is fucking Dave and Georgia and stuff going, like, oh, hope David's coming because he's just, like, so much fun and, like...
Definitely bring the party vibes.
Dude, you bring the party
I brought
vibe.
the Caribbean with me.
Yeah.
Nah, true. No, it's good. It's a good gang. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Got to keep Dave and Jared young somehow.
You got to keep the boys young because we're the young boys, really, of the group.
True. Yeah.
And we're gonna keep them. We're gonna keep them young somehow. And you do more than I do. You do.
Definitely.
I'm definitely more of an old man.
Yeah.
At heart
old
than you
soul.
are.
Yeah.
I'm an
for
old
sure.
soul.
I'm forever young.
Yeah.
Always.
But that's what you're the yin to my yang.
Absolutely.
That's why we work,
That's
because
it, man.
I wouldn't be as lively if it wasn't for you, and you probably would get nothing done if it wasn't for me. So
It's very, very true. Yeah.
it's what it is. But I'm excited for our continued projects, and your help with this show has been like invaluable. Like, people, you have no idea. I would not be able to do the show without David.
It's all good. We just, focus the camera, click record, be funny,
Dude, just be yourself, bro. Just that positive energy. Everyone
That's it,
feels
man.
from the back of the camera.
That's it. That's it, man.
And just do your thing, and seeing some acting choke from you, because you're obviously an amazing musician. Everyone knows you're an amazing musician, but people don't know you're an actor.
I'm excited for these skits. It's
Yeah,
gonna be good.
man. Yeah, man.
it's
We've
gonna be
got
really
a few lined up, a few ideas, that we've talked about that we're keen on. So hopefully over the next few weeks we can get one or two. Well, obviously one for this show, but maybe another one out in a couple of weeks' time as well. Like, just to see how we go. So it's all just working on continuing to work on projects, continue to work on the music with David. And continue testing things out in the show with that little video intro and having a camera for David. And those are just things we're coming up with on the fly. Like, I just thought I'll just move this around. I'll set up the webcam. I have this idea for this, the walk-in. It's just those subtle little things that over week to week to week, if we keep doing it, something new every week, eventually by episode 10 to 15 of this show, it's going to be almost unrecognizable compared to the first episode. We're just going to keep growing, and in the end, it'll find its own identity and flow, and that's how it'll be. So I look forward to that, man. It's exciting.
Love it.
So thanks, David, as always. Thank you again for joining
always,
me.
bro.
I can't say intros and outros without saying as always now. It's what it is. It's my company, so I'm fine with that. As Always Entertainment, patreon.com/as always. $1 support me. And, keep the lights on here at the Tynamite Show, and keep David fed with the booze.
Please.
And the parties.
And the partying.
And the partying.
Especially.
Especially the partying.
No, I ain't seeing a single cent from this.
Well, I mean, it's the same with me videoing your covers and your videos.
That's very true.
It's out of love, bro. It's
Out of love, always love.
I love you, man. So thank you everyone so much for watching another episode of the Tynamite Show. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed the skit, something new, something a bit different. I'm enjoying the condensed shows. Like, I don't want this to be some massive 3-hour podcast. I like it to be a nice, easy viewing, David. So, again, continue to develop, continue to grow. Thank you so much for the support, and we'll see you all next week for another episode of the Tynamite Show. Thank you.